The Anti-Corruption and Civil Rights Commission was launched on February 29, 2008, as a comprehensive administration institution in charge of ombudsman, anti-corruption, administrative appeals, and institutional improvement. The ACRC has held policy briefing for foreign businesses in Korea since 2008, and this year marks the 8th anniversary of the annual policy briefing. Here are the ACRC's achievements for the year 2014. We found solutions on-site. With on-site outreach program, the ACRC addressed more than 600 complaints filed by the socially disadvantaged on 52 places nationwide. Also, we conducted 7 rounds of on-site complaint counseling sessions for small and medium-sized enterprises. The ACRC resolved a total of 78 complaints of businesses through mediation, including 1 complaint caused by the disapproval of military facility use. Through the active on-site examination, we went one step further to protect the rights of the ordinary and disadvantaged people. For example, we accepted 153 administrative appeals regarding the provision of compensation for patients with pneumoconiosis and 61 related to industrial accident and employment insurance premiums. We listened carefully to what the public had to say. The ACRC listened to and selected 3,800 suggestions of people, up 19% from 2013. We put our efforts in reflecting voices of people into the government policy by holding online policy discussions on 2,800 subjects, up 111% from 2013. The ACRC contributed to complaint prevention by issuing alerts on 43 rapidly expanding complaints, such as the complaint about noise among residents of apartment houses. We worked hard to root out unreasonable corrupt practices. We detected welfare budget waste of about 43 billion won thanks to the Center for Reporting Public Subsidy Fraud. The ACRC revised the Code of Conduct for Public Officials to require not only retired public officials, but also those who have connections with public officials on the grounds of work, school, region, and religion to consult in order to prevent the conflict of interest. Zero tolerance against corrupt acts is in place thanks to the ACRC's measures to rectify slap on the wrist given to corrupt people and related organizations' active implementation of the measures. Subjects of the Corruption Prevention Policy Assessment have been brought in to include a college with more than 3,000 freshmen and a lower-level local government representing more than 500,000 populations, thereby encouraging various organizations to voluntarily strengthen their anti-corruption efforts. We promoted institutional improvement to address the root causes of problems. The ACRC made 45 institutional improvement recommendations to revive the economy and address inconveniences for the public. Among them are facilitating welfare support for the underprivileged and improving safety and convenience for taxi users. A total of 18 corruption prevention institutional improvements were made, including rectification of unreasonable personnel affairs of public organizations and measures to prevent unqualified receipt of disaster relief. Corruption-causing factors were eliminated thanks to the corruption impact assessment under the current laws and regulations on areas closely related to people's lives, such as the operation and use of youth training centers and the disposal of daily waste. Now, let me move on to the ACRC's agenda for 2015. We will solve social conflicts in a rapid, fair, and active manner. The ACRC will coordinate complaints of huge ripple effects, such as the transfer of military facilities through interministerial collaboration, planning investigation, and participation of civil experts. We will lay the institutional foundation for the proactive handling of complaints and will promote the enactment of the Bill on Collective Complaint Coordination as soon as possible. The ACRC will promote people's rights and interests by expanding investigation on administrative appeal cases of people with extreme hardships, while rectifying illegal and unjust administrative measures. We will listen to the voices of people more carefully. We will strengthen the online government-wide one-stop communication system and make it more comfortable for users by integrating e-people with other government organizations' portals, including Regulatory Information System and Safe People. We will also increase the number of organizations that use the Integrated Government Call Center, number 110. We will launch user-oriented online policy communication platform called Nationwide Communication Platform, where one person's idea will be translated into a refined policy proposal through voluntary discussions of multiple participants. As for complaints left unaddressed since no agency is willing to take charge, the ACRC will coordinate the responsibilities of multiple agencies and actively manage the handling of complaints. By analyzing the big data of over 4 million complaints a year, we will adopt a complaint alert system so that the agency in charge can more effectively deal with complaints that are repeatedly raised during the certain period. We will foster the integrity of public officials. The ACRC will lay the foundation for a change in public officials' mindset by making it mandatory to take integrity training courses and by enacting the Code of Conduct for ministers. We will expand participatory anti-corruption programs, including integrity concerts and dramas that can trigger more attention and interest of public officials. The ACRC will improve the integrity of local governments, which are relatively more vulnerable to corruption, by increasing the number of local councils subject to integrity assessment and making the integrity assessment reflect whether local councils enact their codes of conduct or not. We will establish corruption control tools through enactment and revision of the 3 anti-corruption laws as soon as possible. The ACRC will make efforts so that the Bill on the Prevention of Illegal Solicitation and revised Act on the Protection of Public Interest Whistleblowers can be passed at the National Assembly as soon as possible. We will promote the enactment of the Bill on the Prevention of False and Fraudulent Claim for Public Finance that stipulates the punitive redemption of up to 5 times the money illegally received by unqualified recipients of government subsidy or budget. We will actively build government-wide capacity through collaboration among agencies to prevent budget waste and deal with unqualified receipt of money by operating the Center for Reporting Public Subsidy Fraud. We will promote institutional improvement to enhance people's rights and interests. The ACRC will promote fundamental improvement of petty but inconvenient measures that are closely related to people's daily lives. institutional improvement will be made on areas where corrupt relationships between the public and the private sectors can easily arise because of closed organizational management and lack of supervision and monitoring. In particular, we will uphold the Korean government's economic innovation plan with a focus on improving unnecessary regulations that cause corruption. We will make efforts to address complaints of businesses. Foreign businessmen can file complaints against all central ministries, all local governments, and 136 public service-related institutions on the ACRC's ePeople, www.epeople.go.kr. On ePeople, you can file petitions in 12 foreign languages, including English and Japanese, and make recommendations for institutional improvement or policy related to regulation reforms or other economic activities. The ACRC dealt with 37 complaints of businesses over unreasonable business regulations and abuse of higher position of public organizations through 6 rounds of review meetings on complaints about business regulations. This table shows the inquiries, suggestions of the past 7 years of policy briefings for foreign businesses in Korea. Here's the brief explanation for the follow-up measures to last year's suggestion for the guideline on public healthcare experts honorarium. As for this suggestion, we specified regulations in more detail. For example, we stipulated a rebate provider as a duty-related party in the Code of Conduct for Public Healthcare Organizations, along with the definition of rebate. Also, regulations on reporting, including the report of outside lectures, were complemented. Lastly, we made it mandatory to punish those who take rebates. In 2015, the Anti-Corruption and Civil Rights Commission will spare no effort to build transparent and corruption-free public service environment and to create advanced society full of communication and trust. Thank you.